Right, deep breaths, everyone. That was absolutely frantic. Celtic 2, Aberdeen 2, and plenty to discuss with Stevie. 25 to 4 in the morning here in Melbourne. We're at
Oof.
25 to 6 at Celtic Park, Stevie. First of all, are you okay? Are you safe? I hear there's been a little bit of trouble outside the stadium.
I know, it was all kicking off, mate. There was one of the wee stalls ran out of chips, so I just went mental. I went boxing with everybody. No, they daft Aberdeen fans were, as you can imagine, in buoyant mood after that, and there was a few daft scenes at the Emirates. But Hamish, I just want to let everybody know that I'm fine, and that's all that matters. And very importantly, Breezo's oh, there he is. he's in a huff. He's still in a huff. He's in a huff. He's not even turning and talking to MD. I guess we'll get into the game, eh?
Yeah, listen, I get the impression you're not going to be too happy either because we were 2-0 up and we've let that slip. So, disappointing result in the end. I cannot believe we didn't manage to win that game with the chances we had late on. 10 minutes added on. I think we played 11 or 12 of those. I don't know why we weren't allowed to take that corner, by the way, at the end. That's a side point. But the chances we missed late on, it must have been a hell of an afternoon to be at that game.
Yeah, and I think as well, like the chances that we missed and everything. Like I think obviously where I sit, I don't get the best view when we're attacking down in the second half, so I had no idea, just how close headers were, just how close ones off the line were. I had to rely on Rizzo, who had a better view in the second half, telling me what was going down. But I thought, right, now there was two moments in the game where I thought, one, when Aberdeen made it 3-2 initially, and then when the goal got disallowed for a handball, and I think you said it was a clear handball, and obviously it happened so quick during the game that I didn't have a clue what was going on. But you said it was a clear handball, and I thought after that we were going to get a grip and up the tempo, and we were going to get a lift from it. I thought Aberdeen, their heads would have went down after it. Didn't happen. We just were still so pedestrian. And then when those 10 minutes go up for injury time, first off, I'm like, I don't know where the ref got it from. So it didn't feel like there was 10 minutes worth of stoppages in the game. And then I thought in those 10 minutes that's going to be such a boost for us. We'll see another typical last gasp effort for Celtic. It just wasn't to be today. I don't think it was an all-round shocker of a performance. I think you have to really credit Aberdeen too. But I'm not really happy overall with it today.
I think the last 10 minutes was a brilliant performance. I just think that finish wasn't there. I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know if this was in the stoppage time or not, but we had the James Forrest one where he drags past the post. We had another Forrest one that was straight at Mitov, the goalkeeper. You had the free kick / nearly a penalty that was just outside the box when Luke McCowan's taken out. You have right at the end, you have Ida's header that's saved by Mitov. You have the incredible one right at the end that's blocked on the line. There was numerous other ones that have now escaped my mind. There was at least 2 or 3 more huge chances late on. Oh, there's one where it goes to the back post and Bernardo's got a tap in and somehow the ball either goes over his foot or bobbles or something like that. But there was so many huge opportunities we had late on in the game. But I thought we actually played well. My big frustration in that game was the start of the second half. The first 20-25 minutes of the second half, we completely allowed Aberdeen back into the game with sloppy play. And Aberdeen are a good team. There's been a lot of debate about how good they are, and I think we still don't totally know because, first half I thought we made them look really ordinary and we were the far better team in that first half, but my big frustration was we allowed them back into that game, which is quite an unlike Celtic thing this season. Like when we've been ahead in games so far this season, like Bratislava and Rangers and other games at Celtic Park, when we get ahead we rarely let teams back into it. So I'm not quite sure what the issue was today.
I was like second half. I mean, the first half. I wouldn't say it was all. It was like wasn't totally comfortable in the first half. But as soon as we got that first goal and then a quick fire second, you thought, right, okay, we're going to see this out and it should be a routine 3 points after that. I think Aberdeen looked totally deflated and, up until the first goal, I think it was end to end. There wasn't a lot of chances for both sides. Engels had a great effort off the bar after an error from Mitov, but both teams were feeling each other out. And I think Aberdeen, you could see one of the things I noticed with them was you see a lot of teams coming to Celtic Park, take about half an hour to have a goal kick. Mitov was taking it almost immediately, just like Schmeichel always does for us. And so you saw there was an intent there from Aberdeen, which was refreshing. But I think as well, Celtic did settle into the game after the first 10 minutes or so. We were well on top, getting into that into the break. And everybody I was speaking to, it wasn't a case of didn't think it was going to be a 4 or 5-0 job. We said that in the build up as well, but I thought we'd be able to see the game out, and it would be a fairly comfortable 3 points in the end. I'm with you on that one with the second half. It was I said to the guy next to me, if the players been drugged at half time, what have they had in their tea? Because it was
poor joke that.
It was
poor
wild.
Taste for me, poor taste.
Right, okay, well, I'm sorry, but I have to get shady humour, all right?
Are they Polis behind you?
I know, I was about to say,
lock that man up.
Polis will want to huckle me. But shut him up. No, I don't know what was going on in that second half. Don't get me wrong, the first goal, the boy Sockler puts it away well. A fantastic pass, it cuts us open. And after that, Aberdeen just, we had our tails right up. It looked as if from there on we were rattled, we were spooked, and it was there was a real frailness in that Celtic side. There was a real mental fragility, and I find that almost hard to comprehend, considering this Celtic side at home, the form they're in, and just generally domestically, Celtic Park is generally is a fortress for us. We had that result against Hearts last December, but it was so strange to me that you saw that collapse. And I think a combination of complacency for our side, but also, I think Aberdeen and their manager certainly made positive changes. And they certainly, one of the things you notice is when they got the ball in midfield, right, they look to play quick first-time passes in behind Trusty and Scales, and that's where they get the first goal from. But more importantly as well, I just feel a lot of that was down to our midfield falling right out of that game, Hamish, in the second half. Arne Engels is a real... He's a worry for me now. I don't think it's a long-term worry. He's going to have a blip after, you can say, a really good start to his Celtic career. But I think that Dortmund game has done a number on him, Hamish. I think he's not really looked the same. You look at that Ross County game the other week, it was a terrible performance from him. I think it was good today in flashes, but in that second half, he was just completely anonymous. And there was a moment, there's all the actions happening in the second half. You've got Aberdeen's midfield and our midfield, right? And I had a look, and Engels is in the edges of it. He's kind of out near the wing. He's nowhere near the middle of the game where, you're meant to have an impact and you're basically meant to get control there. Engels is just floating out in the wing. It was like Hatate McGregor up against 2 or 3 of their midfield. So already we're outnumbered. There's no balance there. And Aberdeen are getting so many men and taking they're taking the tempo there. So yeah, I found that a complete worry, and I would have brought him off sooner, if I'm honest with you. I think they're the big key points that led to that second half sort of collapse. Midfield players just not being able to get a grip in that. Positive changes with Aberdeen and their manager, but also just all-round complacency from us, Hamish. It was, poor. It's not like I'm sitting here worrying and panicking and coming out going, I don't know where we go for here. It's nothing like that. I think we will get ourselves together and we'll compose ourselves next weekend. Atalanta, I don't have a clue what to think for that now after that. And I certainly think the system's got to change for that. There's no way. I see if Aberdeen are cutting us apart like that in the second half, Hamish, God knows what Atalanta do. You cannot have that same shape and that same structure in there going to Italy now. But nah, that was what I thought. That's what I thought went wrong in the second half, really.
Yeah, Aberdeen had chances today. I thought the Sockler goal was reminiscent of Miovski's goal in the Cup semi, early on in the game when they just... Yeah. And I'm not sure if that was McGrath for that pass, but if you watch the pass back, it's a brilliant pass. It's like a half volley sliced pass from McGrath through to Sockler today. That's real quality you're up against. Aberdeen have good players, and I think when you come off it against a team like that, they are going to punish you because they're confident they're a resolute team as well. In terms of Engels, I think it's an interesting point. I thought he did a lot of good stuff today. I thought he had a really big impact in the first half. Even in the start of the second half, he plays that really good through ball to Kyogo when Kyogo should score and dilly-dallies on it and it gets blocked away. But I thought the whole midfield fell out of it in the second half. Hatate, who I thought was our best player, probably today, certainly in the first half, I thought he was excellent, got his goal, was involved in the second goal as well, and I just thought he had a really good game. First half, second half, I thought he fell away from it as well. But for me, the big issue in the performance was the left-hand side today. I thought that the left-hand side really struggled.
Oh, definitely.
Vi did some things well, got into some good areas, but I thought generally it was quite a kind of poor performance from him, a lot of errors in his game. I hate to say it, he's got a bit of Burnaby in him. Just a bit. He's not got the full package, but you know that kind of erratic nature that Burnaby has. Vi's got a bit of that in him. And that moment in the second half that we got away with big time when Liam Scales did really well, when Vi just had a complete shocker on the right hand side, and in Aberdeen I think it was one of the players went through and Duke was at the back post and Liam Scales did really well. So Aberdeen had that. Remember they had the one in the first half for Clarkson when Alistair Johnson just tackled the ball into his path and we managed to smuggle that away. So Aberdeen had 3 or 4 real clear-cut chances today. But while I'm talking about the left-hand side, Dyson Maeda was really poor today, and it's his error, really sloppy error, that sets up the second goal for Aberdeen. So that was kind of our performance in a nutshell. First half, I thought I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I thought half-time I was pretty happy with the way things were going. Second half, I would probably give a 3 or a 4. Salvaged a bit by the fact that we created loads of chances late on, but the fact we didn't win the game was clearly very disappointing.
Yeah, Vi really, really disappointing today, and I've got to say, that's now after his debut against Falkirk. I don't think we were going to jump the gun and overreact on that and say, "Oh, what a poor player there we've got," but he's not really impressed me at all. In any game that he's played for us.
Good against County, no?
So far. I thought he was okay against County. But, again, it's only his 4th game or something for us, so a 5th maybe. I mean, okay, he had that wee back heel against St Johnstone, 5th game, but I just feel with Vi, it's like you say, his decision making on the ball is a real weakness. I think in the first half today, you noticed as well, right? You know that way when other sides in the league always seem to target Greg Taylor, they lump it towards that left-hand side. Aberdeen just did that all first half today. You noticed it, and I think they targeted Vi as a weakness in that game. And to be fair, a few times as well, the ball's just bouncing off him, and Scales and Trusty, Scales especially, had to mop up a good few times in that first half, because the amount of times that they would shell it to him, he would either lose it in the air, he would get dominated, or tougher times as well, he'd just give the ball away. And I think critical at times with Greg Taylor, as we know, but Vi's got a long way to go to make the left-back position his own, doesn't he? And that's yet another player that Greg Taylor looks to have so far have dominated and fought off when it comes to that position, being nailed down. There was a part as well, Hamish, with Michael, that just like summed everything up. You remember the bit where I think Aberdeen have pressed us, he couldn't pass out to McGregor, Scales or Trusty, and he ends up putting out for a throw. I don't think that's what led to the Aberdeen third goal to get disallowed, but what I did say to the guys next to me was, see when McGrath was standing over that ball, you just knew, the way we were playing, and they knew the way it was going, that they were going to get the goal. Was not shocked when it went in, and then one of the guys at 3-2, just in that area, went up and went away in a huff, and then he's probably missed the fact that it was disallowed for VAR. I think you did say it was a clear handball, although I've not seen it back. I've not seen any goal back, but I just seemed riddled with so many errors, and it was just daft play, really, and a complete loss of composure. And you just hope that was a one-off today, and it wasn't something that's going to be a repeat pattern in any domestic games.
I think it's a mixture of things. So I think the performance was clearly very poor in the start of the second half, and I think you need to acknowledge that we can play a lot better, and we have played a lot better this season. But also, I think you need to acknowledge that, Aberdeen are a decent side. They're a confident side. They've clearly, as I say, they've got a lot of confidence. They've won 13 games in a row going into this, and they're resolute as well. We saw that in their last game against Hearts. We've seen it, last minute winner at Ross County. Like, they're clearly a very resolute, confident team. And for them to come back's a great result. And I think a point we should make, and it's not always the first point you think of as a Celtic fan after today because you're disappointed, but I thought it was a really good game, especially second half. I thought it was a fabulous game, and obviously we always want Celtic to win, but I think so often we go along and games are incredibly one-sided. I thought in the second half, as much as, clearly the last 10-15 minutes we were bombarding their goal, I thought it was a really kind of back and forth game. Like, they had chances, we had chances. There was good football, it was quality football. It was the best game we've played in this season, I would say. Possibly Falkirk would be up there as well, but I think you need to acknowledge that, and I think it's good for the league as well that Aberdeen have not completely crumbled. So it'll be interesting to see what comes up. I think they've got Rangers in a couple of games at Pittodrie. You'd fancy them in that, the way they're playing. We've got them in the Cup semi after that in 2 weeks' time, so that's going to be a cracker looking at that. And I think today will hopefully, just light a fire under the players a little bit, and they'll want to kind of show that they're much better than Aberdeen the next time we play them. I thought there was positives today as well. As I say, Hatate in the first half I thought was good. I think Luke McCowan looks a hell of a player. I thought when he came on, he looked brilliant. I know we didn't get the...
Should have been on sooner.
Yeah.
Should have been on way sooner.
Yeah. I know we didn't get the winning goal, but Luke McCowan's touch looks brilliant. I want to see him start next weekend. I want to see Luke McCowan in that
Motherwell in it?
Starting lineup. Yeah, Motherwell at Firth Park. Big game, by the way. Tough game for us, but...
he's got to start, especially after Bergamo, so I totally agree he's got to start. I would agree with that. And do you know what the day reminded me of? There was a game in 2005 when Hearts were billed as the big dogs, and they actually came to Celtic Park, top of the league, and I think it was a 1-1 draw. And if you remember, I don't know, God, you must have been...
I was there.
Must have been a wee guy. Was you?
Yeah.
I always envision you being like 2 or 3 in the days.
Shut up, man. To be fair, I'd been about 8. I got my season ticket that season, so it was my first season.
Did you? But you remember in the last 20 minutes or so, we hammered them. Yeah. We should have won that game.
I don't really remember, I think Stevie, but
Craig Gordon me and my memories, Craig Gordon just made save after save. Like, we hammered them. Their fitness levels were atrocious, and they came out with all the plaudits because it was 1 each there. But I would say the mental strength for Aberdeen. Okay, I know we missed some sitters, right? But I do have to give a bit of credit to the mental strength for Aberdeen, because you know what it's like. They've already seen they've had a goal disallowed, 10 minutes injury time, and right away there, like usually you see any other team domestically. Dare I say, even if Rangers saw that today, like they would have crumbled with the amount of pressure we tend to put on. They didn't today. And again, it was a bit of luck with the chances we missed. But I think they also as well, their fitness levels, they look generally as if they could cope with that intensity for like the 90 plus minutes. So I'll give them their due there. But that was just one. And my last criticism, sorry Hamish, is just the short corners, man. Have to go.
How many corners do you think we had today?
Again, without seeing any stats in that, I will lazily say we got 15. 18. And I would say about half of them, if you watch them, Engels, who's got a hell of a delivery, Engels plays it short, gets the ball back, and it goes all the way back to the centre circle again, and we're building for there.
See, when he put it into the box, we actually had chances. Like, Trusty got his head in a few, and Ida had one.
Aye, even towards the end of the game, but when Bernardo whipped a few in, but that was welcome to see, and we nearly got a goal from it at the end. So the short corners and the style and everything, like, it's really, we've got to let's pick it up to what we had in August and September. That slick, fast football. You're not going to get it every week, I know that, but that identity we had, we've kind of let that slip away from us in the last few games, and we've got to really pick it up, I would say, next Sunday. And if anybody's obviously listening to this and watching, thinking, why is it not saying Wednesday? I think we all know the task on Wednesday is going to be mammoth, so I don't really give us a lot of hope in that one.
Yeah, I must say, is that the poll that's coming for you now? Must be, definitely.
I've never seen it this bad before. Like, if the word is getting out about Celtic AM these days, then so be it. It's good for the channel, but it's bad for my prospects and employment, I suppose.
Yeah. I think Wednesday's going to be very tough. I don't feel confident about that at all, based on that today. But you never know. The team might kind of do the reverse of what they did in Dortmund and surprise us a little bit in a positive way. But final thoughts on this afternoon, Stevie? Is Reidzo still all right?
I think John's all right there. He's there. He's in the background. I think we are going to go to we're going to go to the pub. Me and Reidzo are going to get a couple of drinks, and I think he wants to tell me all about London. So I better go and humour him for a bit, Hamish. But thanks a lot for putting up with as I say, the signal's dropped a few times here. I don't know how the final video is going to look.
Amazing. The final video look amazing.
I know, that's because I'm on it. No, honestly, cheers. I know that's really early for you to be doing this, and it's never seen it this busy before. But as I say, hopefully I can escape the jail tonight, mate.
Appreciate you coming on, Stevie. It's much appreciated. We'll catch up with you very soon. Yeah, disappointing today, everyone. Not the 3 points we'd hoped for. If it's any sort of consolation, I think Celtic will be all right. And you know, fans who were at Celtic Park and watching around the world certainly got a good game today. So yeah, I'm feeling all right generally, but I'm sure you'll let us know how you're feeling in the comments. Remember, you can listen to all of our videos as podcasts these days on your favourite podcast app. I'll be back on Monday.